Doma Sports Talk Worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, middleweight, super middleweight, face of boxing and all that old good stuff. Canelo Alvarez, right? Now, you know, everyone knows who comes here some of my favorite boxers. Sometimes I'll call them the Negro League fighters because they don't get the opportunities. So one of the chairmen, Chairman Luis Ortiz and this guy, Demetris Andrade. Canelo has restated again, right? And I just want to mention it, this ain't going to be long, that he is never fighting Demetris Andrade. And he was talking to Brian Custer, right? According to this article, which I'll put in the description box. Y'all can read it. I just read a little bit and just kept on moving because he shouldn't have got away with that. I was hoping that Brian Custer would have fronted him right there. And I mean fronted him. How the hell you going to just say you ain't going to fight another fighter who has a two-division champion, right? Undefeated, an Olympian, and been after you forever and will fight you at any division. Right? You can go to 160, 168. He even followed Canelo to 175. He was also the guy who Canelo could have fought to be undisputed at 160 pounds. How are we letting Canelo come out and say, I'm just not fighting this guy? And backs it up with saying, again, he's a horrible fighter. How do we call champions horrible? Right? And now, anybody who takes issue and thumbs down all this stuff, is Demetris Andrade better than Yildirim? Is he better than Roy Fielding? Right? Is he better than Callum Smith? Shoot, he's better than damn Billy Joe Saunders. And Billy Joe Saunders is one of the better fighters. He's better than Khan, right? Because he's bigger. He's better than Kirkland, right? So Demetrius would be one of his best fights. And like I told you about these Negro League fighters, every single one of them that I mentioned, when they walk out to fight the guy that people are protecting him from, like a Canelo, when Canelo walks out and Demetris Andrade walks out, let's say when Demetris Andrade walks out, the commentator is going to say, this could possibly be the hardest fight in Canelo's career. That's what he would say when Demetris Andrade walk out. But then the other commentator is going to correct him. Check that. He is the hardest fight Canelo ever had. Right? That's what most of the Negro League fighters. Anybody fight Devin Haney, that's what they're going to say. Anybody fight David Morrell, that's what they're going to say. Right? Fight Louis the Real King Kong Ortiz, that's probably what they're going to say. Right? Fight Terrence Crawford, that's what they're going to say. So it's impossible to let a guy just say, I'm not fighting him no matter what. And then, here's the kicker. Then we're supposed to watch the next fight. Right? He could have been undisputed at 160 pounds, the middleweight division. But no, he said scratch that because Demetris Andrade, just one fight. That's all he had to do. And no one held him accountable. Now he's at 168 fighting who he wants to. And WBC enables him as always. Takes Benavidez out of the picture because Canelo don't want to fight none of that. Right? Takes him out of the picture, replaces that with Yildirim. And we're all okay with that. And then now he's going to fight Caleb Plant, which is a decent fight. But it ain't getting watched. Not by me. Not by me. Because Canelo is not getting watched at all until he fights who I think he should fight. And the public starts forcing him to do so. All this enabling and stuff. We got the Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder stuff, which I'm going to get to. It's a whole lot of stuff going on. And people don't want to even talk about it because you're tired. Right? They've exhausted you. Because there's so much stuff. That's the point. Good defense is a good offense. A good offense is the best defense, right? That's how that rolls. Don't get tired. Say what you see. If you see something wrong, you say it. Regardless. Who cares? You're going to get some feedback anyway because people like cheaters, right? As long as they're beating a certain type of person, they like cheaters, right? And you don't. So you're not of the same cloth. So who do you give a damn about the other cloth people, right? They like cheaters because we don't. Right? So Canelo Alvarez, he can walk around and they can call him the face of boxing if they want to. And he can say somewhere that he's not going to fight Demetris Andrade ever, like Demetris Andrade has did something to him. Other fighters have called him dopers and called him all kind of names. But Demetris Andrade, for some reason, he's never going to fight him. And then for people that don't know him, then you go watch Demetris Andrade and then you'll be like, oh, that's why. The question is, will you say it or not? So we shouldn't allow fighters to be able to do that. You know, you can't get to the NBA finals and be like, well, I don't like with those guys because they come from there, so we can't fight. Can I play the semifinalists? You know, or something. Doesn't work. Can't get to a tennis tournament, get to the final and say, well, hey, those two semifinalists, I take the one who lost, right? I'm not playing the one who earned a final, right? Because Demetris Andrade earned an undisputed fight and got ignored, not only by Canelo, but by the boxing community, similar to all the stuff that went down with Deontay Wilder. They will ignore on your ass. So it's up to you to say something about it, just like me. But anyway, hell no for Canelo in his next fight, because we ain't gonna have no fighter saying I'll never fight another fighter who's never done nothing wrong to the man except want to fight him. That's all Demetris Andrade has ever done. At 154, when he was the champion and Canelo was the mandatory, he wanted him then. When they both were champion at 160, could be undisputed, he wanted him then. And he would fight him at any weight. So why would Demetris Andrade be the issue? And anybody that comes in talking about who he fought more people than Yildirim did, and Callum Smith, and any other person did that's out there, right? And all the people that Canelo fought, they won't fight Andrade neither. So there you have it. Doma Sports Talk Worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.